The challenge of corruption in Zimbabwe is now beginning to be one of the most problematic issues that Zimbabwe has faced. It has now become a cancer that is actually spread out to the point that lives are being lost, to the point of a country becoming an unfair setting. And this exactly is what is happening, which is really very, very unfortunate. Post-mortem results, corruption exposed at Parirenyatwa Hospital. Just imagine when you hear the stories that are happening at Parirenyatwa Hospital, you would really not like it. I still remember the time that Maraba died, if you still remember, that Maraba was there in that hospital, was never given food, was never given medication. He slept there, I think, was it 4 days or so, or a week? And then when he died, his relatives were asked to pay for the, for the admission in the hospital. Admission where nothing was done, you see. And one would wonder why somebody would have to pay $400 just because it was now a corpse, and people have no choice but will end up just popping out money for the sake of taking their loved one. And that is the situation that we are facing as a country, because ZANU-PF and Mnangagwa are the originators of this corruption. Now it has entered into the civil servants. It has entered everyone who is working as a civil servant in Zimbabwe would want to just see how best they can also benefit from where they are. Each one in their own corner is also trying to use his own, opportunity of responsibility to their advantage. What Shona people say, anyone who is in the passport office, who is in a hospital, who is in a birth and death registration office or something, they are just looking for how they can also exploit citizens and get money and benefit out of it. And this is something that is known. It's not a secret, but Mnangagwa is too busy stealing to the point that him and his government, they don't even have time to be looking into all these other issues. But the last person who suffers is the citizen. And that's exactly what we are talking about. It's really very, very unfortunate that the country has reached these levels. So Richard Chankrai, and remember, these are the Songezo Shabang MPs, says the corruption at the Parirenyatwa Hospital is deeply troubling. Families of the deceased are reportedly being asked to pay US $200 for a post-mortem to be conducted immediately. Otherwise, they are told to wait up to 2 weeks because the doctor is said to be unavailable. In their grief, many desperate families feel they have no choice but to pay. Exploiting people at such a vulnerable moment is unacceptable and calls for urgent investigation. I strongly urge the Ministry of Health to put an end to this exploitative behavior, right? Well, you are the guys that also enabled corruption, because you remained there, you joined hands with Shabangu, and you are in that parliament bogusly. So you are also complicit. You can't even want to talk about morals anymore. Now, these guys, they don't have the right to talk about morals because of what they did, joining hands with the Songezo Shabang and allowing Mnangagwa's corruption. You see, the same corruption that is crying about at the hospital is the same corruption that they did with the parliament, and they are today in parliament corruptly. So it's just a kettle calling the pot black here. These guys are the same guys that are going to vote to allow Mnangagwa to go to 2030. We know that. So, coming to the public and pretending to be holier than thou is not going to help them in any way. Zimbabwean people are watching you. They know what you have done. You have sold. As for Changram, Richard, I don't think this young man should have done what he did. He was not even supposed to be there. Remember, he was actually just given in honor of the death of his sister. And we had also gotten in honor of their father. So for the sake of the legacy of Changrai, this young man should have stood with the people of Zimbabwe and not want to benefit, personally or for self-enrichment. These are the politicians for the stomach that we have talked about. And I think he's also, like many others, like the Wendes and the like, they are just going to kiss goodbye to their political careers. We don't see them again surviving what is coming. There is what is coming, which is not going to be any good. But anyway, putting his behavior and what they did aside, the corruption also is, which is in this manner in the Parirenyatwa hospital, is really very sad. But we can't really do much because we just have a whole lot of corrupt people. But we can only expose the rot and expose what the enemy is allowing to happen to the people of Zimbabwe. This is the reason why Zimbabweans should continue fighting until we have the right people in the right offices. Otherwise, this is the situation. Thank you once again for joining me on the show. Let's meet in the upcoming shows.